9th class history చరిత్ర సెమిస్టర్ 1 సెక్షన్ 2 ఫారెస్ట్ సొసైటీ అండ్ కొలానియలిజం. ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, discuss how the changes in forest management in the colonial period affected the following groups of people: shifting cultivators, nomadic and pastoralist communities, firms trading in timber by forest produce, plantation owners, kings by British officials engaged in shikar hunting. Answer: shifting cultivators. Answer: shifting cultivators. First point, shifting cultivators practice slash and burn agriculture. Second point, in this regard, parts of the forest are cut and burnt in rotation. Third point, the colonial government put a ban on shifting cultivation as it was regarded as harmful for forest. Fourth point, many communities were displaced from their homes in the forests. Many were reduced to the level of starvation. Fifth point, some took to trading in forest products or became laborers. Sixth point, many people revolted against the government decision, e.g. Birsa Munda of Chota Nagpur and Alluri Sitaramarazu from Andhra Pradesh. Seventh point, this led to penetration of tribal areas by outsiders from the plains. Eighth point, local people were forced to pay taxes. Nomadic and pastoralist communities. First point, when the forest department took control of the forests, many people lost out in many ways. Second point, it changed the fate of many nomadic and pastoral communities like the Korava, Koracha and Yerugula of the Madras Presidency lost their means of livelihood. Third point, before this, these people and their cattle depended completely on the forest from which they were deprived because of the new forest management. Fourth point, some of these communities began to be called criminal tribes. They were forced to work in factories, mines, and plantations under government supervision. Fifth point, these people were forced to operate within new systems and reorganize their lives. Sixth point, these people were also recruited to work in plantations. The wages were very low and the conditions of work very bad. Firms trading in timber by forest produce. First point, by the early 19th century, oak forests in England disappeared. This created a problem for timber supply for the Royal Navy. Second point, by the 1820s, search parties were sent to explore the forest resources in India. Third point, the indiscriminate plunder of forest resources by European traders led to deforestation and economical disbalance. Fourth point, the colonial government took over the forests and gave vast areas to European planters at cheap rates. Fifth point, the British government gave many large European trading firms the sole right to trade in the forest products of particular areas. Plantation owners. First point, the plantation owners were favored with the changes in the forest management. Second point, they were given a free hand to destroy natural forest to make wafer, tea, coffee, and rubber plantation. Third point, plantation owners made deforestation in India largely. Fourth point, communities like Santals from Assam and Orans from Jharkhand and Gonds from Chhattisgarh were recruited to work on tea plantations. Fifth point, but their wages were low and conditions of work very bad. Sixth point, the plantation owners, under the protection and rights given by the British government, made huge profits. Kings by British officials engaged in shikar hunting. First point, shikar or hunting of tigers and other animals had been part of the culture of the court and nobility for centuries. Second point, hunting of animals was seen as a sport by the Indian rulers and British officials. 3 point, British government encouraged the killing of animals. Big animals like tigers, wolves, leopards were seen as a threat to cultivation. The British gave rewards for killing these animals. Fourth point, these huntings came near to becoming extinct. Fifth point, environmentalists and conservators realized many species needed to be protected, not to be killed. Second question, what are the similarities between colonial management of the forests in Buster and in Java? Answer. First point, colonial management of the forests in Buster and in Java ran along the same lines. Second point, Buster is located in India and Java is an island in Indonesia. Third point, the colonial managers of Buster were the British. The colonial managers of Java were the Dutch. Fourth point, strict laws were made in both the places to prohibit hunting and grazing. Fifth point, the Dutch enacted forest laws in Java restricting villagers' access to forests. Sixth point, villagers were punished for grazing cattle in young stands, transporting wood without a permit, or traveling on forest roads with horse carts or cattle. Seventh point, the British also prohibited hunting and grazing in India. Eighth point, the British government took over the forests, giving no rights to the people to collect forest resources. Ninth point, so many nomadic communities and many pastoralists lost their livelihoods. Tenth point, they were forced to work in factories and mines.